Alright, so maybe you're just starting eBay, or maybe you've been doing it a while. You're not having a whole lot of luck finding big ticket items at thrift stores, yard sales, flea markets and such to flip on eBay, and you're looking for a little niche to get into. I'm going to tell you about my main niche, how to do it, how to be successful with it, or at least as successful as I've been. Stick around a few minutes. We'll be right back. Hey, thanks for joining me. Welcome back to the channel. I had two people. One was Carolyn and the other one was Janet. On my website left me a comment, and in the comment they were asking me what I do, what my main niche is, what I specialize in on eBay. And I don't truly specialize in anything, but I do have a little bit of a knack in the used shoe department. And practically every thrift store you go in, you're going to be able to find at least one pair of shoes that you can flip for profit. Most of the time, depends on the thrift store, but I would say on average I can usually find at least 2 or 3 pair that I can make $20 profit on pretty much every time I go to a thrift store. Pretty much like anything else, you still need to use your app. You need to search the sold comps. Just because you find a pair of Nikes at a thrift store and they look really new and they're really cool looking, it doesn't mean they're going to be worth anything on eBay. Just simply because there are a lot of different little markets that are saturated, and Nike is one of the biggest, and there's so many listings for Nike. You got to really stand out with what you're selling in Nike. There are individual models of different Kobe's and LeBrons and different things that, yeah, you can make a profit with, but that's where you need to check the sold comps, because if you don't check the sold comps, you just buy a cool looking shoe because you think it's going to sell, you might be looking for somebody to sell it to, or you'll be giving them away. I'm going to put a BOLO list of brands down below if you want to check it out, and it's brands that I mainly search for. Brands like Haan, Edmonds, Lanvin. I found several pairs of Pradas. Well, it's nice to find those because they jump out of your store in a heartbeat. There's several brands. I'll list 5 or 10 of them below. Maybe the 5 best that I have found. There are a lot more, but no matter what you do, and no matter what kind of BOLO you have, there are 2 huge criteria to buying shoes at a thrift store, yard sale, or flea market, and that is the sold comps. You've got the sold comps, your best friend. Every YouTube channel out there tells you the sold comps are the most important criteria, and it is. It might not be a bad idea to turn all your filters off and look at what's listed now. Because if a shoe has been selling for $50 and you find it for $10, I usually pay $2 to $5 for shoes. But let's say you find it for $10, it's been selling for $50, but now all of a sudden you find a whole bunch of active listings on eBay where they're selling for $25 a pair. You know, maybe you want to steer clear of that shoe and model. The other criteria is the condition of the shoe. And the condition of the shoe plays a big role. There are some shoes that you can buy, say the Pradas, the Lanvin Paris shoes. You don't find a whole lot of those. They're very expensive shoes, and obviously they're made in Paris. But when you find them, you can sell these shoes even if they're not in the greatest condition. I wouldn't buy anything that had holes in the soles, but you need to give the shoes a score. You know, by condition. Are they dirty? Do they have scuffs all over the heels? Are the bottoms about worn out? Are they almost like new? Are the laces good? Some of these shoes, you know, the Lanvins and Pradas and things, you don't just go to your local Walmart and buy a pair of strings to go in them. There's a little bit more to it. So I have a pair of shoes has to meet a percentage score for me of 80%, which means it has to be at least 80% new, you know, 80% of a new score before I buy it. And so if you search your sold comps, check your current listings, and make sure you're getting shoes that are in good shape, because you want good feedback, you want happy customers, and yeah, if you do those things, you're well on your way. The sound for this video has improved. I bought a little auxiliary mic to plug into my phone or camera, and what I've listened back to so far, I'm not super impressed with it. Maybe it's I tried to get out on the cheap. Maybe I just need to get a better one. But yeah, we're trying. I know I'm not the greatest auditor in the world. I'm just a southern boy from 3 miles north of Clemson, South Carolina, and I'm doing this thing and trying to pass along information to you. So I hope the sound's okay. I hope you can hear okay. If you can't, leave a comment below. If you can, leave a comment below, and I kind of know which way to go. But yeah, I'm gonna get a better mic. Right now I'm using my iPhone 7, and sometimes I use a little Canon ELPH 115, and sometimes I use my Canon EOS Rebel T3, I think it is. I prefer to use the phone because it's so much simpler. When I use the phone, I do most of the editing in iMovie, and that's, you know, but that's neither here nor there. I hope you can hear okay. Now back to the shoes. When you're sourcing shoes, just because they're a little dirty, or just because the strings are dirty or frayed or whatnot, don't let that be your deciding factor. Those are criteria that I look at, but it doesn't necessarily decide whether I buy them or not. What decides whether I buy them is, have I sold it? Have I sold that brand before? Have I sold that exact shoe before? Like if it's a Haan wingtip loafer, I sold a bunch of those. I know they'll sell. Now, is it in good condition? Then you just pretty much look the shoes over, check them out really good, make sure you bend the soles, make sure the soles aren't cracked, look at the inside of them. If a shoe's nasty inside, or if it smells like it knocked a buzzard off a gut wagon, I'm not buying it. I mean, I'm not going to spray a bunch of chemicals in them shoes. Excuse me again. But I'm not going to spray a bunch of chemicals and stuff in shoes, because the person that purchases that shoe might be allergic to what I sprayed in it. And I'm not going to ship them a pair of shoes that smell like a boy's locker room in high school. So, you know, you want to, we're all in this to make money, but you want to supply a good product too, because it'll tell on you if you don't. You'll have bad feedback, you'll have unhappy customers, and nobody wants that. The shoe niche is easy, but you have to stick to your guns. You have to get shoes that sell, and you have to get shoes that are in good condition. And with that, let me show you some examples. Without a doubt, my favorite shoes to sell, and what I look for first every time I go into a thrift store, yard sale, flea market, what I look for are cowboy boots, or in this case, cowgirl boots, western boots. These are a pair of brand new Ariat ladies western boots. They're really nice. If you look at the soles, they have roses on the soles, and there's not even a scratch on the soles. Okay? The only thing that I have found is there's a few scuff marks, small scuff marks here on the heels. Hard to tell with this camera. But I love looking for these things. I bought these at one of my go-to standby mom and pops thrift stores. It wasn't a Goodwill. I find a lot of cowboy boots at Goodwill too. But I bought these shoes at that thrift store for $2.99. And it even came with two of them. But $2.99. I listed these about 5 minutes before I started making this video for $75. I could have maybe gone a little higher than that, because Ariat is I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. Ariat is a major league brand in Western boots. But I've got $2.99 in them. I'm trying to maintain an average sale price on my eBay store. Excuse me again, I'm sorry. An average sale price of $30 per item. Okay, $75 is going to bring that $30 per item up. Okay, I don't want to list these things and they have to sit for 2 or 3 months before they sell, because like I told you a few minutes ago, I searched the sold comps. I know Ariat's a great shoe, a great boot. I know these are in great condition. But I also looked at the ones that are listed now. And there are quite a few Ariat boots listed. Mine is listed toward the bottom of the average of what the active listings are. I want to sell these. Alright. I could probably get $10 or $15 more for them. But I might be waiting another month or two. Okay. So if you need to turn your capital back over, if you need to free up your money that you spend for something and make profit so that you can buy more things, source more things for your store, you need to consider that in your pricing, especially if you have a new eBay store, a new eBay account where you're still kind of struggling to start getting feedback and start getting sales. Okay, here's another Western boot, cowboy boot, that I have really good luck with. It's Llama. I haven't listed these yet because they need a little cleaning work done on them. But overall, there's a little superficial wear on the soles, on the heels. They're good, great condition, used boots. And I'm going to clean them up just a little bit, and then I'll get my photos and I'll list them. That's another thing, the cleaning of shoes. Okay, if you find a really cool pair of shoes like the Llamas, those aren't going to sell for what those Ariat sold for. They're used, they got some scuffs on them. I'll still probably get $40 or $45 for that pair of boots. Okay, but on the cleaning side of things, you want to buy and source items that create profit, not projects. It's really tempting. Now, if I found a pair of $200 Lucchese cowboy boots and I had to put an hour into cleaning them up, yeah, I'm going to do it. But for the most part, you need to keep it to where all you have is maybe a simple wipe down. Sometime on like sneakers, different tennis shoes, I'll put a new pair of shoestrings in them because it makes them pop, makes them look better. And once again, you won't get feedback, you want happy customers. But don't type too much time and effort into cleaning shoes, because that's time you can spend sourcing and working on your business. And in the long run, I'll type 30 minutes in cleaning a pair of shoes. If I think I can clean them up and make them presentable and of good quality in 30 minutes, I buy them. If not, they stay there. Speaking of cleaning shoes, I can take a pair of leather tennis shoes, not the canvas tennis shoes. Sometimes if I find really good canvas tennis shoes, I'll put a washing machine on gentle cycle, okay, and put about 2 or 3 teaspoons of Dawn dishwashing liquid in there. It's real gentle. If there's any greasy residue, whatnot, and it will clean them without fading them and destroying the materials. But that's rare. I hardly ever wash shoes. If they're that dirty, I'll leave them. If they're leather, like those boots, different leather sneakers, loafers, Cole Haan's Allen Edmonds type shoes, dress shoes. I'll put a little effort. I'll put some effort into cleaning them up once again to make the customer happy, and I'll show you my secret weapon. It's the Mr. Clean Magic Erasers. Most of the time, unless the shoes are the more dirty shoes, I'll take a Solo cup, a little red Solo cup. I'll take a little red Solo cup, put a little water in it, and these magic erasers come. This package has 2 magic erasers in it. I take scissors and cut it into strips. That way I get multiple uses out of each one. And I'll dip these things, the tip of it, down in clean, clear water. Alright? 99% of the time, the shoes come clean. Okay? Every now and then I'll put a couple of drops of Dawn dishwashing liquid in there. But when I get done, I take a wet rag, wipe the shoes back off. If they're like those cowboy boots, I dry them really good. And if they're really good boots like the Ariats, if I had to clean those and whatnot, and I got them wet, I have a little thing of mink oil. And I'll rub them down with mink oil. It makes them look good for the photos. And again, it provides a good quality product for your customer. So that's a little tip. Mr. Clean Magic Erasers. They do miracles. And to be honest, a lot of the stuff we sell on eBay, if it's general merchandise that we buy off the shelves, whatever it is, we use the magic erasers to wipe it down. It can be a VCR. You know, just make sure you just get it damp, don't soak it. But I'll show you some examples here of shoes and boots that I have purchased and resold on eBay and what I resold them for. This photo is one of the pair of Lanvins that I sold. Originally, I paid $4.99 for them, sold them for $100. Lanvin is a huge brand, Lanvin Paris. And if you find these things in really good shape, you better pick them up, because you can make money with them. Another cowboy boot or western boot is Panhandle Slim. These were ostrich leg western boots. I paid $8.99 for them and flipped them for $50. I only found a couple of sold comps on this particular boot, and I priced it a little low. And I know I priced it a little low because I made the listing and it sold about 10 minutes later. I should have probably put these around $75 because they were in fantastic condition. But still, a cost of goods of $8.99 and sell it for $50, hey, you can't complain with that. Another good one is Dr. Marten's. The work boots, the casual boots. These were Doc Marten wingtips, the safety toe wingtips, kind of unusual shoes. If you find Doc Martens sell for good money. If you find Doc Martens that are made in England, they'll have made in England stamped on the bottom of the sole. They sell for even more money. I think it's a little bit higher quality shoe. And please excuse the misspelling of Dr. Martens in the bottom of this photo. Anywho, the next one is one of my favorites, and I find these really often. It's Algeria nursing clogs. Now, the more colorful designs and whatnot of these shoes, and really good condition, they have to be in good condition, these things sell as fast as you can list them. I paid $4 for this pair. They sold for $45. About a week later, I found the identical twin to these at a Goodwill, and they had them behind the counter in a glass display case for $15. I bought those and sold them for $55, the exact same shoe. So keep your eye open for Algeria. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Nursing clogs. There's another one, Dansko nursing clogs. They sell well too, but not for quite as much money as the Allegrias. And if you find these shoes solid white, solid black, solid brown, they sell. It just takes them a little longer to sell, and you might not make quite as much as you do off the one with colorful designs. This is an example of a shoe that the brand sells really well, but the shoes had some scuffs on them, and they kind of fell below that 80% mark that I try to look for. So I listed these for $30, and buyer paid shipping of $19.05. I believe the buyer was in California on these. I'm in South Carolina. So basically, the buyer paid $49 for this pair of shoes, and I had, excuse me, I had really, really good photos of all the scratches and scuff marks on them. So this is just an example of learning the brands and judging the condition of the shoes, and letting that dictate whether or not you buy them to list on eBay. As you can tell by the flashing light, the little DJI, or I think it's DJI Osmo gimbal I purchased to help hold my phone steady is dying, so please pardon the shake in the rest of this video. Alright folks, this video is starting to run a little bit long, so I'm going to call it here. I hope you got some good information here. Shared a little bit about what I do with the shoes. I'm going to be making a few more videos, get a little bit more in depth and a little bit more descriptive and whatnot on this niche. If you got value out of this and you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button and hit the subscription if you'd like to see more of this stuff. If you'd like to be notified when I put up a video, hit the little bell notification, and I would greatly appreciate it. Until next time, wish you guys nothing but the best. Have a great day and the best of success to all of you.